Now introducing the softer side of Chain Reaction Fitness. My hair's all down and shiz it. All right, it is Tuesday, and that means that it's time to get technical. I want to get technical. Let me hear your button. All right, today is going to be very simple. I'm going to talk about the difference between squats and deadlifts. Two very fundamental lower body exercises, two very different exercises. And I want to talk about it because I have a dear friend with whom I was working out, and that person kept confusing deadlifts and squats. So I just want to talk about it and go over the difference. The main thing to remember is that a squat is bending your knees, whereas a deadlift is a hip hinge, all right? Sticking your butt out, basically. So I'm going to demonstrate both of these just with body weight, because we're going to take it easy today, all right? So for both movements, you're going to have your shoulders down and back. Your back is going to be straight, and you have neutral spine and pelvis. And for a squat, all you're going to do is you're just going to bend your knees. Now notice that I'm not leaning forward excessively. I'm trying to keep that torso upright, shoulders back, and I'm just squatting down basically to about chair height, okay? So my torso is coming forward to counteract, to keep balance, all right? But I'm not leaning over or anything like this. And a lot of times when I see people, especially doing squat movements where they want to reach the ground, they can't necessarily bend their knees enough and get low enough in their squat. So they start doing this and touching the ground like this. Whenever you want to squat to touch the ground, you want to get there because of your knees, not because of your torso. So if you can't touch the ground and you're just like, that's okay. Just stop here, touch your shins, okay? I'd rather you do this with a decreased range of motion, but proper squat technique, as opposed to like, look at me, I'm touching the ground, and your butt's up in the air. You haven't really done anything except put a lot of stress on your back, all right? So squatting, torso remains relatively upright, all right? I say relatively because you're gonna see in a minute, right? And you're just bending your knees, straighten your knees. Come to the top, squeeze your glutes. Yeah? All right. Deadlift. Deadlift, you're going to have a very slight bend in your knees, and this is just for support, okay? So I have bending my knees here. This will help you if you need to pick your weight up off the ground. If you have, for example, a barbell. I do not have a barbell, but we're going to imagine I have a barbell, right? You're going to have a slight bend in your knees to go pick up that weight. And you're usually going to start, again, back straight, shoulders back, and usually, depending on what kind of weight you're using, if you've dumbbells, if you have a barbell and you have those big weights on the side, your bar is going to be around here. And notice that that's basically near my shin height, halfway up my shin. So if you have dumbbells, that's typically where you're going to start. Now, the starting position for a deadlift, notice how my knees are slightly bent, and notice how my torso is going down. Now, I might squat just to get the weight up off the ground or to pick it up or get ready. But notice that my knees are not bent nearly as much as in a squat, right? Here's a squat, my knees are bent. Here's a deadlift start. My butt's up and back. My torso is more parallel to the ground. It might be up here, or might be down here depending on the length of your arms or things like that. But notice my butt is back and there's only a very slight bend in the knee. So when I go to do my deadlift, bring my hips up and I'm basically just standing up, okay? So notice my knees bend slightly, my butt goes back and my torso goes parallel to the ground. And I come back up. So you can think of it as hinging at the hip, right? Your knees are bent just because you don't want to lock out your knees in general, because that's not good, okay? So your knees are bending just to prevent, let's just say just to prevent knee lockout at this point, okay? But so all of the action is coming from my torso moving down and my butt going back. So this is sort of the opposite movement, or I would say they're diametrically opposed, but it's very different from what's going on with the squat, right? With a squat, your torso is staying up and you're bending your knees. With a deadlift, you're bending your torso and keeping your knees relatively straight, all right? Your back is going to stay straight for both movements, but again, keeping it more upright, bringing it back. Bending the knees a lot in a squat, bending the knees slightly in a deadlift, okay? So remember those differences. Torso up for a squat, bending the knees a lot. Torso down for a deadlift, bending the knees a little, okay? And then for both, like I said, keeping your back straight, shoulders back, and doing the movement. And of course, when you get to the top of your deadlift, you're going to squeeze your glutes there too. So there are a few similarities in different body positions, but remembering the difference between a deadlift and a squat is very important because you work slightly different muscles and you don't want to work squat muscles when you're trying to work a deadlift muscle, right? Because deadlift is working those glutes. Oh yeah. Whereas with your squat, because you're bending your knees, you're going to be working your quads more. So anyway, that's all I got for you. Until next time, have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.